Okay, chat. I have here kind of a sequel to the anomalous signals video, and I got a pack here from Res Dragon. This one's audio files from space, the deep ocean, and other strange places. Now, for a Sunday stream, this kind of stuff is completely contrary to what you just witnessed for the past couple hours. But I think it'll be interesting, and I think it'll be a little creepy.
Hi, I'm Res Dragon. I'm the creator of the pack and the lunatic obsessed with weird noises. This video is me just highlighting my personal favorite moments from the stream, so this might seem a little incoherent at times. I'll also be using this space to explain some of the things that Vinny might have missed, as well as providing some additional context that I didn't have space to add or have. If you're interested in actually learning about these sounds, I highly recommend watching the full stream or checking out the link in the description for the full pack with the document. Anyways, take it away, meme man.
So we're going to be listening to some strange planetary sounds, and I'm sure someone could make music to this. So NASA creates these images by assigning pitch and volume to brightness and placement on photos or data. Similarly to how they translate Hubble's data into images we can see. This sonification of this black hole is different from the rest, as they use actual sound waves that have been captured coming out of this cluster. This galaxy cluster, being as dense as it is with gas, allows sound to actually travel within it. There is sound in space, and it's being made by black holes. Terrifying. Yes, you are literally listening to a black hole. Huh. Yeah, that's a little disconcerting. It's like discordant, but I don't understand. Like, why is Saturn doing, like, do we know why? I don't think we know. What are the aliens listening to? What are they transmitting? Where do they come from? Where do they go? And the question is, who's going to turn the Saturn sounds into a Cotton Eye Joe remix? Meteoroid crashing into Mars. That's creepy. So this is observed by NASA's InSight lander on Mars from 2020 to 2021. NASA describes it like it's like a bloop due to a peculiar atmospheric effect. It's aliens, chat. In this audio clip, the sound can be heard 3 times. When the meteoroid enters the Martian atmosphere, explodes into pieces, and impacts on the surface. There's water aliens on Mars, confirmed. Creepy noise compilation for YouTube video, part 1. So without going into the science of this next one, I don't even know how to explain this, but this is what the sun sounds like. Even the person who made this doesn't know how to explain this. Oh, wow. No, I'm kidding. I typed inside a volcano, lava and flame sound effect. Sorry, chat. I had to. If it doesn't sound like Mount Doom or Mordor, you know, like in Mordor, then yeah, it's not worth the... Sorry, chat. It's just not good. First ever recording of audio from Mars. Aside from, you know, us having been to Mars already from the alien stuff we reverse engineered. I'm joking, chat. Stanley Kubrick went to Mars before we all did. I wonder, what's the human to blue whale size? Let's see a comparison. Wait, that doesn't make sense. Why is the tank so small? Yeah, I mean, we're learning. This is education sauce tonight, chat. I really like this. It's interesting. Interesting, chat. I would consider myself to be an audio-focused person. And, you know, you hear Foley in movies for things like this, but you don't actually think about what some of these things sound like. It kind of just went... Garibaldi damselfish grinding its teeth. It's extremely aggressive to anything and anyone when protecting its eggs. The sound is one of its threat displays. The fish does look like quite an asshole. And this is from Wikipedia. During this time period that the eggs are developing, the male Garibaldi aggressively tries to keep all other fish away from the very edible eggs. That's the very first, like, not the first, but that's like a line of text from Wikipedia. Very edible. Man, life on this planet is so interesting. So varied. Star Wars. Named because of its similarity to sci-fi sound effects. Once again, our friends, the minke whales, this time the dwarf variety. That's my favorite one so far, I think. There's a song in there. Like, seriously, if you just find a way to get that a little more musical, you can make a song out of that. I don't know. I kind of like that sound. It's so weird. I think the minke whale is now my favorite strange sounding creature on this planet. This is whale calls recorded at the Challenger Deep. The Mariana Trench, as you may know, is the deepest ocean trench in the world. Its deepest point is called Challenger Deep. To give you an idea of how deep Challenger Deep is, if you somehow stuck Mount Everest at the bottom of the Challenger Deep, the mountain's peak would still be over 7,000 feet below the surface. So that is where that was recorded, chat. Imagine just like... I don't even want to think about it because it's that I find scary. That's like one of my fears, like I said, the thalassophobia shit. But the very, very bottom of the ocean could find my way to Mariana, the trench. Weird. Ice cracking. From ONC, just a sound that I think is neat. It says the creator of the pack, Res Dragon.
What is it with you? I just think they're neat.
Well, that is fascinating. That's really weird and interesting. And I do wonder if we had trained Knock a little bit more, could he have said skibbity? This next one is active. I'm sorry. This next one's active sonar pings, declassified naval recording. It's classic of a sonar sound as you get. I have to admit, I really like the sound of sonar, if you couldn't tell. Well, this is a close range one. That's probably not the one. That's a different thing entirely. Hang on. We'll come back to that. This is the sonar one that was declassified.
Okay, so Vinny started playing the Doppler sonar recording and completely skipped over the declassified sonar sound by accident. So here's that file in full. The Doppler sonar video is either the Doppler effect on sonar or a type of sonar in its own right. I really couldn't confirm what this was.
Sounds like something Trent Reznor would use on the Downward Spiral 2. Sub-electric boogaloo. That's a really kind of semi-disturbing sound for me. We tend to humanize the things we don't fully understand, and just because we recognize patterns, and obviously things in nature don't follow the same rules, but that does to me sound like something is like whining or is like hurt. And as a result, it does elicit some kind of emotional response from me. There's like a mix of sadness and fear, not like a large degree of it, you know. I'm going to be fine, chat. But yeah, it's one of those things that you just kind of can't help but assign some kind of emotion to it.
This is all very ironic for me that Vinny said this about Echofish. I really wasn't expecting it, because I've used Echofish to make this sound. I use this sound to make a creature that appears in my album Alone at the Edge of the Sea. I also just really like what he said about this sound. I add real-world sounds to my work for similar reasons.
Unidentified marine mammal. ONC was unable to identify what was making these noises. It was a two-parter that was combined into one. And it gets real weird at the end, chat. What animal am I thinking of that makes these weird... Not meat, but there's like a weird animal that does this kind of thing. Koalas. Oh my god. The end of that. What the fuck? Okay, again, it sounds like a Half-Life noise. It did sound like a koala noise a little bit. The audio quality of that was like really good, and it was gross. You hear these kinds of sounds of signals all over WebSDR. I don't know if this is just nearby electrical interference, station markers, or perhaps Earth's natural radio emissions. I have more of these, but decided to show the most interesting one. Kind of has a nice beat to it.
So few people in the comments section on the full stream on YouTube have provided more context for the weird shortwave radio recordings I sent. This was my goal with including these in this pack. I was hoping I'd learn more about them, so thank you to the people who've cleared up what these are. Shout out to Sweaty Hat Man and Lunar Capital for the information. This is CODAR. It's a special type of radar that's used for tracking ocean currents, and this is what it sounds like when it's in AM mode.
Which is a real shame because I'm getting spots in America.
The two radio conversations I showed, I said CB radio, and yeah, I did mean ham radio. That's my bad. And as I guess, they're both talking about radio frequencies and the likes. The Russian gong is actually a WeFax transmission, and it's an old way of transmissioning weather maps to boats, and you can even decode it. The thought never occurred to me that this was data, and honestly, this makes this signal so much cooler to me. Seriously, thanks again to the people who provided context for these. I had no idea where to even begin to look for information on them.
G03 was a number station operated by East German Army, and was most likely used for espionage on the other side of the Berlin Wall. As it stopped broadcasting after the wall came down, the gongs and chimes that played were apparently played on tape. Gradually, over time, the tape began to degrade and distort the audio. I would have included that, but I remember you, Vinny, mentioning that numberstations.com hit you with a copyright strike for your stream about them. Not a strike, but they claimed it. Yeah, numberstation.com likes to claim numberstation audio. And that sound file, distorted audio, came from their website.
Well, this is my video, and I'm not partnered with YouTube, so I receive zero ad revenue, so I'll go ahead and play the file for you. Even if they do claim the video, I could care less. I don't make money off of YouTube.
Sierra. Golf. Foxtrot.
Gordon Freeman.
I say again.
Dear Lord. The black-footed albatross makes these vocalizations when fighting over food or courting. Holy shit, dude. Just take it. You can have the French fry. I don't want it. Channel-billed cuckoos are the largest cuckoo in the world. And the largest brood parasite. AKA, they lay their eggs in a different bird species nest, and that bird species raises their young. You lazy fuck. Mountain lion caught on security camera. Yeah, I hate that. This is either a female trying to announce to the males that she's ready to mate, or just a comfortable cat meowing out in the woods. See, this is one of those things where, again, like, we assign our own emotions to sounds we hear. And we kind of like anthropomorphize even sounds. And you could fool the fuck out of me in saying that this is a comfortable cat. This sounds like a cat is screaming and like bloody murder is occurring. One of the most terrifying sounds you'll ever hear. A mountain lion will scream like this when a female is in heat, or when they want to remind you that it's their territory. There's an old adage I would like to quote here. If you ever hear a woman screaming in the woods, it's not a woman. Well, you know, there's exceptions to every adage, but yeah, that's not a sound you want to actively move towards, I believe. That is actually something that, yeah, I don't like that. That scares me. Wait until you hear this thing's other names. You're going to love it, chat. It's also known as the Eurasian capercaillie, wood grouse, heathercock, cock of the woods, or simply simply the capercaillie. Willow parmesan. It's not called that. It's the willow ptarmigan. Oh, I love this thing. Squirtle, 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 squirtle. This is just the noise this bird makes. The second half of the recording, the loud barking, is a male's mating call. Fantastic. Okay, so this is some weird stuff, but let's do it. This is Res Dragon's recordings. This is their personal recordings. I've amassed a sound effect library of over 1,000 sounds. Some of these are extremely mundane, so here's the more interesting stuff. So this is 91.1 Spokane Public Radio pot smoking story. This is a story I overheard on the SPR one day while driving home. Really liked the guy's voice, could listen to him talk for hours. I equalized this to remove a lot of the bass from the recording off my car stereo.
So, invite these guys over to party with us. We sort of got partying. Yeah, I mean, I had the psychedelic drugs and they had the pot. And this hole of the barrel of this gun looked really kind of big.
Yeah.
And I thought, man, these guys, they're not part of the love culture. Oh boy. So, they took all my money.
Oh, man.
They took all my drugs.
Oh, man.
And they left.
Good.
And, well, geez, Louisa, I mean, I guess, and this was one of them.
Wow. That's something. I would listen to that radio station. If it was just that dude telling stories of the hippie days, playing a guitar, hell yeah. That's entertainment. That's the stuff we need on Twitch. You know what, though, chat? If there's still a Twitch or some equivalent in like 40 years, there's going to be like old pappies doing stuff like that, talking about playing their skibbity toilet games on their mobile devices. And I was playing the skibbities, and I was out there at the Applebee's parking lot, and let me tell you, a bunch of guys came over dressed as G-Men, stole my lunch money. Well, I'll tell you what, they could have that, but not my Robux or my Fortnite coin. So I let them have my skibbity toilet dollars. I lived to tell another day.
Preventative maintenance reminder. Sorter for jam. Preventative maintenance reminder. Sorter for jam.
One of their earliest recordings, recorded with a snowball. For legal reasons, I won't say where this machine is used. But it is used to aid in the unload process of a certain popular department store. It sorts boxes coming off semi-trucks by department, so the unload team can better organize it. On a personal note, this machine is an absolute piece of shit.
Carding system.
And I've not met an unload team that likes it. It would break down constantly, was slower than sorting the truck by hand, and overall was a colossal waste of money, if you ask me. And yes, it does sound like it's saying farting system.
Mix 103.1.
Alaska radio commercials from Labor Day 1996.
Hi, Betty. El Paso, Texas?
Yes, sir.
I'm looking for a woman named Presley. Her last name is Presley. First.
Okay. I browse thrift stores looking for odd cassettes occasionally. Again, this is all re-res. It's a good channel, by the way. Res Dragon, not me. I'm reading. One certain day, I found at least 7 or 8 blank tapes with a bunch of pre-recorded songs, albums, voicemails, and other personal mementos. The owner of the thrift store gave all of them to me for free, and I spent a good 3 hours digging through each one, finding what was on them. But this was the most entertaining one. Several times where the DJ says, "A beautiful Labor Day." There's also an ad for 7-Eleven coffee mugs for 1996.
Point one.
Hey, I'm just a regular guy. I like Monday Night Football. I like the feel of a chainsaw rattling in my hands. I gotta skip shaving every once in a while. I need a hug from my wife, a kiss from my daughter. You know, I gotta call my brother for the money he owes me. And I need a good cup of coffee. I mean good. Fresh ground, fresh brewed.
Don't say chock
on the
full of
hour,
nuts.
every hour, 24 hours a day.
Folgers.
7-Eleven coffee.
7-Eleven is
7-Eleven.
guaranteed.
Okay. That's just the screen door from a very old house. As you can tell, Res Dragon likes just weird noises.
You bet I do.
But here's an unknown animal called deep in the backwoods of Idaho. There's a pretty long story here. I don't know if I'm going to read it, but
Okay, so Vinny skipped over the story for this one, which caused a lot of confusion in chat. Some people thought I was referring to the dog barking. I was not. I was referring to this sound. So let me read to you the story behind this sound. Back in September of 2023, my mother asked me to take her out to a sheep farm that was located 30 minutes outside of Viola, Idaho. Viola has a population of roughly 622 people, a pretty small town in the middle of nowhere. I mostly agreed to the trip so I could have the opportunity to record farm animals. This farm was literally in the middle of the woods, and so far from civilization that the sound of a pine cone falling from a tree was the loudest noise you could hear. I had to stay the night because I didn't want to drive down unfamiliar, unpaved forest roads at night. I was staying up late, reviewing some recordings next to an open window. I was wearing headphones, but from outside I heard this animalistic scream, followed by the 15 dogs on the property going absolutely ballistic. Quickly, I set my microphone back up and put it outside, leaving it out there for 18 minutes. This is the only interesting sound that I picked up in that whole 18 minutes, which was shortly after I set my Zoom back up. The next day, I told my mom about what I heard last night. She told me that she heard it too, and that it sounded like a woman screaming. and it both dawned on us that that was a mountain lion. I can't confirm if this sound file is in fact a mountain lion because I've never heard a mountain lion make this noise. It's eerie nonetheless. The photo used in the video is from the actual property. I sent this to my friends to show them where I was staying. The spectrogram might look odd because I turned up the frequency range that this call was on so you could hear it better, but I guess it wasn't loud enough. It's very faint in the original recording, but you can see it on the spectrogram. I should have included this in the unknown sounds category. It probably would have gone down better if I had. This was just a personal sound mystery that I wanted to put out there so people could help me solve just what this sad sounding creature might be. And no, it's not Bigfoot.
Okay, now this is just some random person that I don't know's home movies. So that I'm a little bit weird about.
Oh no! Oh no! I'm regretting everything! Oh no! I'm regretting everything!
Oh, I love shit like this, chat. I seriously, I go to Six Flags and I do stuff like this. This would be I love it.
Now, I understand Vinny's apprehension with playing this. If someone sent something like this to me, I think I'd be apprehensive too. But I've shared this file on my TikTok, I've used this during my introduction video, and this was filmed with content in mind. The audio track was the recording that my friend got, the video was taken by me on the ground. This was, how you say, professionally done. A home movie for me would have been me sending Vinny a video of my cat, and I didn't see this video as such, and I guess that was an oversight on my part. So I'm sorry if this made you uncomfortable, Vinny. I didn't intend for that, but I'm glad you at least found it funny.
This is Beans. Fart with reverb at half speed. Okay. Okay. This is where we're at now. Make noise Strega throwing a massive loud tantrum. It's a modular synthesizer. Okay. I don't know why that's funny to me, but it kind of is. And this is what they do with all this stuff. So this is the final file.
Alright, now here's where we get slutty. Now, Vinny did cut this part short. The actual file is 2 minutes, and he cut it off after about 30 seconds. I'm completely fine with that. There was a note in the document that he didn't even have to play this live if he didn't want to, because I didn't want to feel like I was hijacking his stream, nor undermine the pack. I made this the ending because this track in particular uses a lot of sounds you hear in this pack. And Vinny cut off the track just before you could hear that. So, since this is my video, here's the file in full. This is a 2-minute preview of one of my dark ambience tracks called The Bottom off of Alone at the Edge of the Sea. This is what I do with this mass collections of sounds that I've gathered. The following sounds used in this that are present in the pack are bioduct, unknown marine mammal, train, slowdown, and Julia. The rest of the sounds that are used here aren't in this pack, and they are as follows. There's humpback whale songs, which weren't included because I was worried that they might carry a copyright hit with them. UVB-76, aka the buzzer, and this was in the previous stream so I didn't include it. The sound of a semi-truck trailer being hooked up, which was recorded by myself, but it's not very interesting on its own. A washing machine, again, not very interesting on its own, and of course some white noise. The deep moaning creature near the end is actually me making animal noises with my throat, and then editing the sound heavily. Everything else that you can hear is synthesizers, which is a combination of the Make Noise Strega and Vital. If I'm being honest, I kind of regret sending him the bottom. Once I found out that Vinny actually does fear the ocean, I realized, oh god, I sent him my second most thalassophobia triggering track. Whoops. And not to mention that I'm just really, really nervous about sharing and showing off my own work because I don't want to come across as a self-centered jackass. I should have ended the pack with Pulse, but that didn't have nearly as many samples in it, so that's why I sent the bottom.
Well, there is the segment. Thank you, Res Dragon. You did a phenomenal job with this.
And I thank you, Vinny, for streaming this, and I thank you, chat, for all of the positive feedback. I truly love sound and all the strange and unique noises that make our world. From the gentle sound of a creek running through dense forest to the oppressive sound of an industrial machine running without care. I love sound, and I love making things with sound. I wanted to take a minute to share my love of sound with so many people, and I am so happy that this pack received such overwhelming positive reception. Like I said in my introduction video, I know y'all came for the Bing Bing Wahoo funny Speed Man, but it means the world to me that something I created is spreading so much knowledge, joy, and even fear. I made this pack with education in mind though, not fear. Yeah, I lean more towards the creepier sounds, but I don't think they truly need to be feared when we understand how they were made and what actually makes them. Thank you again. And now here's the part of the video where I actually get to advertise my own work. If you want to hear the true hellscape that these sounds can create, I really recommend Alone at the Edge of the Sea. Like I said, 80% of the files shown in the Deep Ocean section were used in this project. I've also got a slew of other sound design focused projects that I hope you'll enjoy. Thanks again, and thank you for your time, and thank you again to Vinny for streaming this pack.